have half an eyebrow on one side. And I'm like, oh no. So I grab jet black eyeliner and fill it in. Like, I did not have the tools to deal with such a blow to my eyebrow.
Tell us about a moment where you wish you would have said something and you didn't. There's nothing better than this. Say what you mean. 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 Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Aida Rodriguez, and welcome to another episode of Say What You Mean, where people stop by to say the things they wish they would have said and didn't, and now are doing it and doing it with chutzpah. I want to start off with my own story like I do every show, a moment where I wish I would have said something. And I will say this, it's a pretty serious story. I was working at the Denver Improv, and after the show, we all went and hung out at the hotel lobby down the street from where the show was. And this man who was from Oklahoma sat with us and started talking to us, and we had a good time. We were laughing and having a good time. And then this older gentleman who was working at the hotel stopped by, and he called the man because he wanted the man to throw away his trash, and it was an older black gentleman, and then he called him the N-word, and it was just triggered by a story from another guest, and I just got up and stormed off, and I left. And the next day, I was pissed because I feel like I should have said something to that man, and he looked at me because when I stood up, he said, "Well, that's how it goes in Oklahoma." And I was like, you know what? Let me just say to you, how dare you put all that ignorance and that hatred and that foolishness on an entire state? You are garbage, and you are a low common denominator thinker where that is the word that you would use to speak to an elder that way. And I wish I would have been strong enough to get up and punch you in your face. And I didn't because you were like 6'5". But now that I am here, I'm letting you know that I hope somebody else punches you in the mouth for me. And yeah, you're trash. Moving on. So now we're being joined by one of my girls in comedy. I've known her since I kind of started doing stand-up, and she's always done her own thing, which is one of the reasons why I really like her. One of the things being she did her own little spoof, her own spoof of Uncut Gems with uncut bangs. And I was watching it. First of all, I was watching it quietly, and I was like, yo, this did a movie. And then when I listened to it and I watched it again, I realized that she was spoofing the movie. And it is so funny because it looks so serious. Oh my goodness. She's a host of Glitter and Garbage podcast and the creator and host of the funny dance show on E! So please welcome to the show, Justine Marino.
Oh, Aida, thank you so much for having me.
I'm glad you're here.
I was so happy to get that message. I was like, anything you need, I'm in. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate it. You know, it's funny because you and I run in some of these circles. Like we end up at places like the Hollywood Beauty Awards.
I know, the most random. It's like us and Paula Abdul.
Yes.
It's so great.
And Paula Abdul had on heels higher than both of us.
Yes, she did.
They were like this high. And I was like...
She was so sweet, though.
Yeah, she is very sweet.
I had never met her, and I've heard great things. I played her in a sketch. Do you remember Affion Crockett's show?
In the Flow.
In the Flow.
Yeah.
I played her in a sketch on that, and I ran into her in the bathroom, and I go, I played you in a sketch. And she goes, I love you, and just gives me this huge hug. So I had a great time at the Hollywood Beauty Awards.
Me too. But do you ever feel like as a comedian, like when we're in those places, every 5 minutes, I'm like, that's a joke. That's a joke. And they're taking themselves very seriously.
It is funny being a comic and being from kind of a different world that isn't taking it as seriously, for sure.
Yeah, I went on stage and of course,
you were great.
I said something that I'm sure offended somebody, but that's what makes my life. I'm like, if somebody leaves here pissed with me, I did my job.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Tell me something. You are a comedian. Comedians are vocal.
Yes.
You tend to be thoughtful, though. I watch you.
Thank you. I am.
Yeah,
I'm a little thoughtful. Yeah.
You are thoughtful. But do you feel sometimes like you just want to let it out?
Yeah. I definitely do. Look, I'm also Italian, so there is that inside of me as well that's always ready to let it out. So it's kind of like balancing that. And I think that because I am so nice and thoughtful most of the time, like I'd say 85, 90% of the time, that once I flip and you see the real Italian side come out, that's when everyone's shocked. They're taken aback because they're like, well, but you're so sweet. It's like, you can be nice, but you can still get your stuff done.
Yeah,
you know?
don't take my kindness for weakness.
Exactly. And I think people do make that mistake because I think of myself as a pretty direct person as well. And so sometimes I think me being direct, people can also take as being rude or an asshole, whatever, you know?
But it's so funny because I think the kindest people are the ones who are honest with you, right? And being direct is a sign of respect.
Agree. I totally agree.
Telling somebody what they want to hear and leading them down the path of destruction.
I'm not helping you if I'm just telling you what you want to hear. I don't want you going out of the house looking like that, you know?
Oh, we all have had that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Even with myself, I've looked in the mirror knowing this is not right and still gone out and been mad at myself. Because I didn't talk myself out of it.
Do you have like a text? I have a group. It's like my mom and 2 girlfriends that I send an outfit that I'm not sure about to before I go out the house. And then a lot of times they'll text me after I've left and I'm like, I can't even look at it because I'm already out.
It's done.
It's done. But yeah, I do that just in case. But you always look great. So.
Oh no, sometimes there are times where I regret. I have a picture on, I think it's on, Getty Images.
Yeah.
I went to a I went to a red carpet for an HBO premiere.
Sure.
And I had on, this was when I was in a really toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And my ex used to always talk me into looking bad in public. It was his life's dream is to always have me looking crazy.
That's next level toxic.
Oh yeah. But I had on this dress. We're gonna show this on this podcast with these glasses and these boots, and I looked like, I don't know, like a PE teacher who tried to look nice. No offense to the PE teachers, but you know what I mean. I look a hot mess.
Yeah.
And it's gonna live on the internet forever because I don't have Kim Kardashian money where I can get it scrubbed.
Getty is the worst. There are some really bad pictures of me on Getty. I constantly, every couple of years, I'll hit them up and be like, can you take them down? And they're like, no, anyone can take a picture of you and put it on the internet, basically.
And then they try to charge you $500 for that bad picture.
Funny dance show for their promo and announcing the host, they chose a picture of me like at a house party that some random photographer took and put on there. And it's so crazy. My hair looks insane. Like I don't, and they paid money to use that as the announcement picture for me.
They have to ask permission.
They do.
I understand why people do this now.
I totally get it.
Because I used to be like, who does she think she is? I need final approval.
Yeah.
And now
I'm like, especially now that I'm getting like older, I'm like, I definitely need final approval these days, you know?
This picture, I got to share it because it looks bad.
Yeah.
So can you remember a moment where you wish you would have said something and you didn't?
Absolutely. And it ties into looking bad and also bangs. So I think it really brings everything that we've been talking about together. So when I moved here back in, mid 2000s, my mom was with me to go get one of my first sets of headshots. Mm-hmm. Now my mom's a hairdresser, very long, 40-year career, worked at all the best salons in every city we lived in, very good at haircuts. Like that was her specialty and very good at color. And, so she comes with me, but I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll use the makeup artist from the photographer who said she could do hair and makeup, which back then I didn't know that when someone says they do hair and makeup, mostly they do one or the other and they can kind of fake the other one. So I get in there and it's the makeup artist the photographer recommended. And we're just like, we're so new to LA that we're just trusting everything, which don't trust anything in LA. It's all fake. So we get in there and I had bangs at the time. And the woman starts flat ironing my bangs straight down, which I don't know if anyone in here has had bangs or dealt with flat ironing bangs.
Girl.
If you go too much, they get really overly dry and they just go like really stick straight and kind of like flip out at the ends. This woman had my hair looking like the bottom of a broom. Like, no joke. And my mom was sitting there. And what is so interesting about this story is that neither me nor my mom said anything because we both were like, maybe this is how they do it in LA. You know, I think a lot of times I'm trying to give the other person the benefit of the doubt. This woman did not know what she was doing. And this headshot, for whatever reason, my agent picked it, and then it ended up on the internet. And for like well over a decade, comedy bookers use this as a fly on all their flyers, like for years to come. I finally had to put my foot down and be like, please use this new photo. So now I've got to approve the image as well.
You know what's funny? We all got a bang story. My friends here would know this happened to me last year.
Yeah.
I went to this Latina stylist that I've known for many years. And I told her that I was thinking about getting bangs.
Yeah.
And she had washed my hair. My hair was wet. And she just walked by and said, bloop, and just cut. She was like, una pollina. That's how you say bangs in like Puerto Rican and the Dominican Republic. And Cubans say cerquillo. She was like, it was like a walk-by assault.
A walk-by banging.
Yeah, banging. She cut it off. And when they blow dried it, everything was the same length. I'm recovering from it still. I mean, I have hair trauma for the last.
I had hair trauma for so long that I did not. I even told my boyfriend, I go, if I ever talk about getting bangs, don't let me. But then last year when Wednesday came out and Jenna Ortega had those cute bangs, I was really like, and I kind of did a curtain bang, and then I was like, let's do it. And I'm so glad I did. But I was fully traumatized. I did not have bangs for like 15 years after that bad headshot.
Your bangs look good. You know.
Thank you.
The problem is when you look at pictures of people and then you just automatically assume that looks good on you.
Yes.
I'm like,
yes.
Kaylee Cuoco has led me down the path of destruction time and time again with that perfect curtain bang. And then I look like Bono from the Beatles. I was like, you know what, Kaylee? I'm done with you and the flight attendant. I stopped watching the show because my bangs were so bad.
That'll do it. And I'm with you because I have really thick hair, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining. And I have a small forehead. So they really do need to be cut very specifically.
Yeah.
So luckily, between my mom and the girl I see here in LA, who is fantastic, I'm covered now.
You got a team.
I got a team. I got a bang team now.
So listen, I got to hear you say it. How would Julia Fox say uncut bangs?
Ooh. Oh, you mean, uncut bang.
I don't know why that made me laugh. I watched the video of her saying uncut gems over and over and over.
She is such a character. She's so funny. And I don't know, the idea of doing bangs juxtaposed with uncut gems, which is such an intense movie.
It was so funny.
Just made me laugh. And then I just kept asking people to help me with it, and they kept agreeing, and somehow it got done.
Yeah,
but
you know what? We all needed it because uncut gems gave us all anxiety.
Yes.
That movie is anxiety driving.
Stressful.
You watch that. I never want to see that movie again. I saw that movie. That movie had me on edge the whole movie. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a segment on the show called Should Have Kept That.
Okay.
Where someone shares a story with us via social media, our newsletter, or email, and they share stories with us where they should have kept that, right? This is the moment where they said too much.
Okay.
And I want to share it with you because I want to hear what you think about it. My 6-year-old niece was hanging out with me. I called her busy brows because her eyebrows are so thick. We were watching Sesame Street and Bert and Ernie came on. I said, look at your twin. I thought nothing of it. She went to the bathroom. 10 minutes later, I went to look for her. She shaved off one of her eyebrows and looked at me and said, is that better?
I honestly feel like this whole episode, this feels so premeditated to me because I've also had eyebrow trauma as someone who had a full unibrow, Italian unibrow, and I accidentally shaved half of one off in 8th grade.
My goodness.
In 8th grade, my best friend Megan was having a boy-girl party in her parents' basement, so it was like a big deal, right? And so I'm getting ready, and I'm go to shave my unibrow, and I just get too close on one side, and I shave half of it off. at like 30 minutes before the party. And I'm just like, no, and I'm already, like, all my friends were the hot ones. I was kind of the awkward. I was a little chubby. I had braces and glasses. Like, and then I have half an eyebrow on one side. And I'm like, oh no. So I grab jet black eyeliner and fill it in. Like, I did not have the tools to deal with such a blow to my eyebrow. But yeah, I went down to the party, and thankfully, I'm sure everyone noticed, but no one said anything to me. They probably should have at that point.
If you were at that party, reach out to the producers of Say What You Mean and come talk to us and get that off of your chest. I will tell you, I remember when I was in high school, I saw a hip hop video of a rapper who was actually here taping one of the episodes.
Yeah.
And I went to my hairdresser and I said, I want that eyebrow action. And she shaved 3 lines into my eyebrows. My grandmother had a heart attack. She was so upset with me because my high school senior pictures are with the 3 lines in the eyebrows. And it is not sexy. I'll tell you. My grandmother was like, you look like you've been neglected.
Oh,
and in
my
Spanish,
God.
it sounds even worse.
So funny.
But I just think we all have eyebrow trauma.
I do.
You know? And everybody does because they keep switching it up on us.
One day it's thin, super thin. One day it's full, Cara Delevingne. Like, it's like, can we just come to a happy medium or something?
They're back to the thin eyebrows again. I'm not doing that.
I'm not. No, and I'm warning every Gen Z person I know, do not do it. It's not worth it.
You're going to kill the cells, and then it's not going to grow back. And then in 2050, when we're all together with the Martians and stuff, they're going to think you one of them. Imagine that.
The nail shop mountain.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That's
the crazy arch. Yes.
Those people who always look like they're in deep thought.
Yes.
I don't trust them. Like, you make bad decisions all the way around.
They look like they're in deep thought.
Like a missing character from Minions.
Yes.
Like, no.
Yes. Yes.
Eyebrows say so much. I remember one of my daughter's friends shaved her eyebrows like white.
Yeah.
You know, and she was in high school at the time. And I was like, y'all not going to tell this girl that I don't want her at my house.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
This girl, she looks like she's going to commit some sort of heinous crime.
Yes, she does.
There's something wrong with this girl.
Yes. And you shouldn't let her in your house, to be honest.
I'm glad y'all fell out, Kayla. So we have our lightning round.
Okay.
And this is how we get to know you better.
I love it.
And so I'm just gonna go.
Okay, great.
Smash or pass journaling?
Smash.
Yeah, do you like journaling?
I like to journal. Yeah, it's a gratitude journal. I'm all about a gratitude journal. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Would you rather air fry or a conventional oven?
Air fry, I think, because I'm a horrible, horrible cook. So air fryer is a little easier for me.
Makes life a lot easier. What's your favorite city?
Ooh, my favorite city. I'm from there, but I love Denver.
I like Denver too.
Denver's great. It's enough of a city, and it still feels kind of small. It doesn't feel as big as like a New York or an LA. I also love Paris, though, not to be totally generic.
I like Paris.
Paris is great.
I was just there the beginning of July of 2024.
Yeah.
And I was there during their election time, which I didn't know.
Oh.
And it was kind of cool because they were all out in the streets having this big celebration. And it was just really, really it was really cool. But the funny thing about Paris is that I can't tell you how many people warned me about Parisian people not being nice.
Yes.
And everybody was nice. We did not have one negative incident in Paris.
That's how, when my parents and I went, we made friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did not really have that experience either, but I love the fashion, the shopping, just the history.
And the bread, because I can't eat bread here because the gluten makes me really sick. But I ate bread there. I ate a croissant every day. I did not gain weight. And I did not get sick.
I love that.
And I was like, man, I want to go back.
Yeah.
Not just because those Costco croissants be killing my
Oh, those, yeah.
I've been walking
Also,
around
you-
looking like Hitch,
Yeah.
like all swollen, but I'm greedy,
yeah.
so I gotta have it.
You gotta have it, and they give you like 97 croissants in that Costco pack. So they're like,
in a box.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels like you at a mission.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
here you go, young people. Here's a croissant for you. It's been hard for you. Fight or flight for coyotes.
Oh, 4 coyotes. I'm the worst. I think so many animals are cute. I'd probably go over and try and like say what's up. Like I saw raccoons walking around in West Hollywood, and I was like to my boyfriend, I go, "Should we go see if it needs a snack?" My boyfriend was like, "No, Justine, they all have rabies. Like, what are you talking about?" I love cute animals, but I think I would probably flight in real life.
You think coyotes are cute?
I do. I saw one. I was driving over the canyon. I was coming home from Ice House, and I was on Outpost Drive, and it was just me on the road. It was really dark, but I saw my one ran across my car, and I was just like, "Oh, cutie!" I said that out loud to myself. So if I would be murdered by a cute coyote for sure.
Especially if they're by themselves, they're usually sick or something. They've been kicked out the
And I'm
pack.
like, come on.
They're just like that raccoon that was in the middle of the day out in the streets.
Love raccoons.
The raccoons in Los Angeles are different.
Yeah.
Like everything in Los Angeles is different. I remember seeing 2 raccoons. This is going to sound crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to believe me, but I have witnesses. It was raining, and we pulled up to where I used to live, and there were 2 raccoons playing in the water, washing their hands.
I
Because
love when
they do that. They wash their hands.
Yeah.
And I had never seen that before. And I was like, are they washing their hands? And Cece was like, yep, they washing their hands. Because she's from Alabama.
Yeah.
And she was like, you ain't know that raccoons wash their hands? I said, no, because they got rabies and they always in the trash can. Like but it was so, I didn't get out the car until they were gone, which was dawn. Because I was like, I'm not getting out. Because they were also on their 2 hind legs.
Oh, yeah.
And they were standing up. And I'm like, why they walking around?
Yeah.
Holding hands and washing their hands.
Yeah.
And 5'4".
Yeah, and 5'4".
They were pretty big.
They are big. They're bigger than I expected in person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm OCD, and hand washing is one of my things. So I probably relate to them in that way, you know?
Man. I think it's hard with animals who look so cute.
Exactly.
Yeah, my uncle was in the military, and he said they went to Panama, and one of his soldiers, one of his, I don't know, he was above them.
Yeah.
And he said he came back with a dog, and he took a puppy, and he took it home. And that puppy was getting volatile with the baby, with the kids. Oh. And it wasn't a puppy. It was a rat.
Oh my God.
It was a big rat. And I was like, did your friend need glasses? Because he thought it was a pit bull.
That's crazy. Even with the tail, I feel like a rat tail and a pit bull tail are very different.
No, also, speaking of white girl stories, my ex played football, and his friend who they played football in college, but he was playing, I believe it was in Denver. No, it was in Cleveland.
Okay.
He was a Brown. His friend's wife was hiking, and she found a kitten, and she took the kitten home.
Oh no.
And it grew up to be a mountain lion.
Oh no.
And she wanted to keep it. And she kept it for a while. They invited us over. And I was like, I'm not going. I was pregnant with my daughter. I was like, I'm not going over there. And they were like, it's okay. He's been defanged and be declawed. I was like, did he get mountain lions?
Yeah,
Because I'm not going over there.
Whoa.
Because then what are you gonna do with it? I was like, when they get really big.
Yeah.
And they'll suffocate you.
Yeah.
And they go for the jugular. He made her get rid of the mountain lion.
Yeah.
But
thankfully, I hope so.
she wanted to keep it and domesticate it.
That's like a Disney movie, you know, with the tragic at the end, you know. That's like they develop this unlikely friendship, and then they have to say goodbye at the end. But it sets them up for a sequel.
We
should
write it.
We should.
We should write
Done.
it. Okay, so this question has made people cry, beam, smile. If you could say anything to your favorite teacher, what would it be?
Oh. So I'm still very close with my favorite teacher, actually, from high school. His name's Brett James, and I think I've said this to him, but just thank you. Thank you for encouraging me. And, I was a little bit of a naughty girl in high school, but he always had my back and knew that there was something in me that, could get to another level in life. And, I just thank you. And thanks for being cool. He taught a cool class called pop culture, and now pop culture is like my whole personality. So
I love it.
So I really appreciate, he gave me a lot of, my appreciation for film and music from all, decades and times throughout history. And I'd say thank you to Brett James.
It's so funny. I know you were a naughty girl because you just called him out like he was a character from Sons of Anarchy. You're like, I just want to say thank you to Brett James, not Mr. James, like the rest of us. Yo, Brett, thank you for looking out during high school. I appreciate
No
you.
joke. Brett and I are still so cool.
I love it.
We still hang. Like I see him when I go back to Denver. He's the homie.
Did you check to see if he was a real teacher? Like,
He's just a dude who came in every day.
no, wilder
Posted
things
up.
have happened.
No, I believe he was a real teacher at St. Mary's Academy.
Oh my God, Brett James worked at St. Mary's Academy.
He did.
It writes itself.
He did, exactly.
That's so cool. Does he come to your shows?
He does, yeah. And he's cool, and we text. Like, we're friends. We're buddies. Yeah.
You are an adult now, so you're now friends.
Yeah, we're friends, and we were friends in high school too, I would say. He's gay, so it was never anything like inappropriate feeling or anything.
The plot thickens.
It was just like a support system, you know what I mean?
That's
so
great.
Yeah, it was great. And so then our friendship easily continued into adulthood. I actually had a crush on him my freshman year and was devastated to learn that I would never be in the running.
I mean,
and we still joke about that.
You just got to write the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, do it. Drew Barrymore did it.
Exactly. The rest is still unwritten, you know?
I love it. So tell everybody where they can find you, what you got going on, what's next.
So I've got a couple projects in the works. I can't really say too much about them, but I have my podcast, Glitter and Garbage, which is a pop culture comedy podcast on all things comedy. Okay. We just had Ian Ziering on from 90210.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's a lot of 90s nostalgia throwback stuff because that's when I peaked. And you can follow me on social media at Justine Machine 1 on Instagram and at Justine Machine everywhere else.
And thank you so much for teaching so many of us how to say that man's name correctly, because many of us were calling him Ian Ziering for such a long time.
Well, yeah, and I'm here to right the wrong, you know, and it's Ian. I'm happy to say, and I was nervous though that I might accidentally screw it up on the pod, but I'm proud to say I didn't. Ian Ziering, you guys.
How was he? Was he cool?
Fantastic.
Yeah,
he's so cool. Yeah, he's so nice. We have a mutual friend, and he just agreed to come on the pod, and it was really great. I was a little nervous though. I was fully fangirling and kind of dying inside on the, you know, because we get to meet a lot of obviously big people, but for some reason, and I talked about this with him on the podcast, people who I really enjoyed as a child and who were important to me as in my childhood are kind of way more exciting for me to interact with and meet than like maybe someone who's a little bit more current, you know? Yeah.
Everybody except Brett James. He's just a guy. I love it. And people can listen to that on
anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple. The videos are on my YouTube channel, all the stuff, all the usuals.
Say your social media one more time.
At Justine Machine 1.
Yes. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I love it. I want to say thank you to you for joining us on this fun thing we call a podcast. And catch up with us on socials. We are at SWYM Pod on TikTok, Instagram, and X. If you are watching this, click the subscribe button. We want to hear from you in the comments section. Tell us your stories about those moments where you wish you would have said something or you should have kept that. If you are listening, download the episode, become a member, do whatever you need to do, and tell a friend, because we want to continue to grow this village. We are so excited to be a part of yours, and we are excited for you to be a part of ours. My name is Aida Rodriguez. This is Say What You Mean. We are out.